Hey y'all, it's your girl Charity B, and welcome to the I'm Enough Mastering Self-Love podcast. This podcast was designed for both men and women who are in the process or wanting to start their self-love journey. Here we discuss many topics related to self-love that promotes healthy habits that will help support your mental and emotional health, boost self-confidence, and self-worth. So get ready. This is something you don't want to miss. If you like what you hear in this episode, feel free to DM me and leave comments on my Instagram page at iam.enoughmsl. The podcast is also available on YouTube. The link will be in my description box as well as on my Instagram page. Hey y'all, welcome back to the I'm Enough Mastering Self-Love podcast. It's your girl Charity B. As usual, I hope you guys are doing great and have either a great productive week or a good rest week. I'm feeling pretty good myself. I take my little 2-3 minutes talking about myself. I know this episode was supposed to be uploaded 2 weeks ago, but I'm just going to be real. I had to go on vacation, and it was a lot going on. And I don't know about y'all, but me, I take at least 2 weeks to prep myself and get everything together before the day I leave. So, yeah, I'm learning how to not overpack, because the first time I went on a flight was with my boyfriend. And I ended up overpacking a lot, and I just gotta make sure I have everything and I don't forget nothing, because what if they don't have what I need? So yeah, I was over the weight. We had to go to the side. I had to put stuff in his carry-on because my carry-on was full already. So yeah, I like to have a lot of things to make sure I have everything. But as time goes on, I learned how to not do that and have a bigger carry-on. That's how I solved my problem. Bigger carry-on. So yeah, I just it was just a lot going on trying to get ready for the trip, and I was like, I'm not gonna have time to record, edit, upload, and try to do a trailer and do all that. So I was like, I don't want to give y'all half-ass content. So I was like, let me just wait till I get back and my mind is in the right space to give y'all the content that you need. So I was just like, yeah, let's just stop that. So for my trip, me and my best friend took a weekend and went to Miami for the Brent Faiyaz concert. So yeah, that was our first best friend trip, and I really did enjoy myself. I think we both can say we really did enjoy ourselves. And y'all know that, well, if you're a Brent Faiyaz fan, you know that it was really hard to get tickets, really, really hard, and it shouldn't have been that hard. I'm currently in Houston. That's where I live. So when they had them tickets you was trying to buy the tickets, you had to sit in the queue, and it was just ridiculous because they let people who got Spotify and I think some other subscription, they let them purchase their stuff earlier, and then you're able to purchase your tickets. But they purchased every ticket that was available, and then doubled and tripled the price. And I was just I love Brent, but not that much to be paying that price. And then it was just when you try to click on seats, the seats was not available. Oops, somebody else got it before you. I'm like, how'd they get it just then and there? So it was just bro, at this point we was just we're going to this concert, because we waited 3 years for this concert. Right, because it happened 3 years ago. He was supposed to go on tour right before COVID happened, right before we went on lockdown. We had went on lockdown, and it was 4 days later would have been his concert, and he just didn't go back on tour till 3 years later. So it was just no. So we was determined to go to that, and we was surprisingly, Miami had cheaper tickets, and we were just, okay, we're going to Miami. We have flight credit, and we're just gonna pay, and we're gonna go, and we're gonna have a good time. So yeah, we went out there for the weekend. I was definitely exhausted when I got back. I was exhausted because we had to get up early and all that. But I had a good time. Like I said, we both can say that we had a good time. I must say this, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but y'all food just not it. If you live in Miami and you got some food places that's better, please drop a comment, because maybe next time I can visit. But yeah, every option I tried, we didn't like at all. I don't know what's going on with that food. It just didn't have no seasoning. One of the chickens was dry. It was just not it. And my boyfriend was telling me that. And Trick Daddy and Rick Ross food is probably one of the best places he had. But I was we don't have time to go there, because we wasted time eating food that wasn't it. So I was like, maybe we need to go on the hood or something. Cause I don't know if we was in an upscale place, you can't really find a good spot. So I was just like, yeah, at least I would just come down there for the beach. But like I said, if you live in Miami or you been and you found some good food places, you can drop it. Cause next time I'll go out. Cause I was like, yeah, no, I was ready to come back home and eat the good food. But yeah, overall I had a good trip. Okay, so now we can go ahead and get into today's content. I'm thinking of doing, well, I've already decided to do like a series over relationships, because I know last time we talked about manifesting your ideal partner, and I'm deciding to do this whole relationship little 3-episode series because you still have to practice self-love and you still have to understand your boundaries while being in a relationship. I feel like this is where you are going to apply what you practice by yourself when it comes to your self-love journey, as far as setting boundaries and what you allow to take, how to communicate, if you're insecure or not, your confidence levels, and it's a lot of things you deal with in a relationship. Rather if it's healthy or unhealthy, you still deal with things when you are in a healthy relationship. Let's be real, everything's not going to be peaches and cream. The honeymoon stage does not last long, and you're going to have to go through things. That's just how it works. Life is life. So you do have to be strong on how you feel about yourself, your confidence, as well as your boundaries and what you're willing to accept from your partner. So it's important that you still practice self-love. And as I mentioned in my last episode, when it comes to manifesting your ideal partner, it starts with you. You have to change some things within you to attract the type of person you want or the energy you want. Same thing with, the healing process. That can be treacherous. So if you are involved with somebody, this episode's for you. If you're involved with somebody, you're still trying to heal from something, maybe something from your childhood or from something from your past relationships, then this episode is for you. So this is episode 21, and it's called Healing While in a Relationship. Is it possible or toxic? So we're trying to decide if this is healthy or a toxic thing to do while being in a relationship. Are you trying to heal from something? And I think it's important to discuss this because it's very common for people to not bunny hop to the next person. And when I mean bunny hop, I'm fresh out of a relationship. I'm fresh from talking to somebody. No matter the duration of the relationship, I hop onto the next person. I haven't allowed myself to go through the motions and actually get detoxed before I went and try to, deal with somebody else. And people, it's also important because people don't know how to be alone. A lot of people do not know how to be alone. And when I mean being alone, you don't have to talk to nobody. You don't have to communicate with nobody. There's nothing wrong with dating. Dating without laying down with somebody. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about dating. You laying down with the next person and you doing relationship stuff with the person without you knowing. You'll give yourself that time to recharge. And I think it's definitely needed because in a relationship, when you are dealing with somebody in a relationship or a situationship or whatever you're in, you have to constantly give. You have to constantly give a part of yourself to that person in order to make it work. So, like I said, good or bad. So that's why I think this is a healthy topic to talk about because many of y'all do that. And I'll be real, I think I've been in that situation, but on accident. So we're going to talk about all of that as we move forward into this episode. So people who tend to like bunny hop are either those who are not properly healed. They don't want to go through the emotions that you have to deal with through the healing process. They want to forget the pain, so they go talk or deal with somebody else, hoping that they just cover that up. Here to tell you that only lasts a short time. So highly would not recommend that. Like I said, people are scared of being alone. They rather mask it than seek things that help them go through the motions organically and healthy. So the big question today is healing while in a relationship healthy or toxic? So I think that it's not a straight and narrow answer. I think that because healing is not linear, it is a very complex thing. You go through the motions. Sometimes you think you're healed and then you're not because you have to apply it and you realize you're still triggered. So it's not linear. It's a lot of hoops and hurdles you have to go through in order to actually heal or experience true healing. So I'm gonna tell you what my opinion is, and then we're gonna talk about the pros and cons of doing this. I personally don't think, regardless of where you are on the broken or hurt spectrum, I personally do not think this is a good thing. And I personally experienced it, like I said, on accident, which I'll talk about. And yeah, I just don't recommend it. I don't recommend it at all. I really think it's important that we like recharge alone and go through the motions before we hop into other things. So, what are some pros of healing while in a relationship? I particularly think this is for, if the pros are considered for people who are not that broken or not that hurt on the spectrum, and they have this level of confidence in themselves to be able to separate the two. Now that's very hard. I feel like I'm considered that type of person, but I know myself, and I don't my thing with communication, I know how to communicate. I don't like to communicate. So something can like be bothering me, and I probably won't say anything about it, and I'll get over it. But like I said, those things are not healthy, because over time things build up, and then when you really lash out, it's really bad. So yeah, no. But some pros, the person that you're with can bring attention to on things that you need work on, and they can help you through that process. Sometimes God brings people to you to help you through that process. Another pro would be you probably both experience that pain together. For example, experiencing a loss, so y'all need to work through it together. A loss of a child, loss of a pet, something, it depends. It don't always have to be something severe to be like something that you need to heal from. So it could probably be y'all experience some type of loss together, and y'all need to work through it or heal through it together in order to make it work or get back to normal, your norm. Like I said, you may be somebody who has that mental to heal while being involved with somebody. You probably don't have a codependent type of personality, or you seek validation or any other major insecurities that will hinder you during that process. And like I said, these pros typically are for people who are on that broken or hurt spectrum. They not just all the way off, okay? I still don't recommend this, because some people be like, well, why? No, but God ain't seen me nothing to heal through this. Because probably you're not the type of person that needs to be with anybody else in order to heal. What you're dealing with will actually make that relationship toxic, or whoever you're with make that situation toxic. So it's just like, yeah, that's why God has not sent anyone to you, or you haven't been sent anyone that is helping you through your healing process, because you need to do this alone. I just had to put that disclaimer out there if you're thinking that. Okay, so some cons that would make it toxic, or be like why you should not heal while in a relationship. Like I said, it's possible, but it's not guaranteed that the relationship you are in will last long, because you spend so much time healing, and there's a lot that you go through. Like I said, healing is not linear. You can project your insecurities or how that past situation had made you feel on that new person, and it's like, well, why are you blaming for something, or why are you accusing me of something that I'm not doing? It just caused other problems in areas that don't need to be started. And you never know if that's the person for you. Even if that was the person for you, you could make that relationship just not last. You can run that person away, because it's like, nobody trying to deal with insecurities that you should have already dealt with before you got into another relationship with me, So yeah, things can get messy. So that's another con. Things can get messy. Like I said, you bring over your past hurt, and you have to realize, because some people, like I said, they jump into another relationship because it's something new. When it's something new and fresh, you have a good time. You like that person. You want to spend all your time with that person. You want to be with them and stuff. And it's like all Skittles and rainbows and flowers and magical and stuff. And then, but y'all got to realize, even healthy relationships have its downside. It's not always Skittles and rainbows. You're going to get out that honeymoon stage. You're going to get past that honeymoon stage, and you're going to be like, he getting on my nerves, she getting on my nerves, and that's when the insecurities start pop up. That's when it start getting messy. That's when all the problems start. And how you decide to react to those bad situations, it definitely shows, and it shows that you're not healed. Like, you got to go back into the dungeon and do a little bit more healing, because it's just not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. The more you try to mask something and like not see it for what it is, it's gonna come back and bite you in the butt, and it's gonna be 10 times harder to heal from what you should have already been practicing on prior to that. And even if you do get a good person to help you through your process, and they like want to help you through that healing process, and they want to be your captain, save them, I think sometimes if you don't take the responsibility on yourself to like want to better yourself or do the things, like if you have somebody giving you the steps and telling you how to do it, and you do it like that, it's just like you can become codependent. Like, it can create some other insecurities in you because you didn't do the work yourself. Somebody else is doing it for you. And it can get messy again, because what if that person, we're human, okay? If, say for instance, I'm that person in a relationship and I'm trying to help this dude get through all the hurt and pain, I'm always there to be the captain, save him. And I have my downside, and I have my downtime where I need somebody to save me, and I can't be there for you. It can cause you to be like, okay, now you're mad at me because I'm not available as I need to be. I'm not validating you in areas that I did validate you. And it's like, that's when it shouldn't be like that. You need to be able to validate yourself in those areas. You need to be able to be confident in knowing what you want, how you feel. You need to be secure with yourself before you even like try to be with somebody else, because it's a give and take relationship. You can't just take from that person, because when they stop giving to you, it's just like you don't know what to do. You're gonna feel lost. You don't know what to do. You can't think for yourself because you don't even understand your own emotions. So that's another con of why you should not like be in a relationship while you're trying to heal. It doesn't allow you to go through the emotions. Like, just like death, heartache and breaking up with somebody, it also has its grieving stages. You first have that you're in denial. You're like, I can't believe this person left me. I can't believe I don't get to talk to this person no more, because it is a loss. Like, if you spend your time, or you spend a long time with somebody, talking to them every day, hanging out with them, and y'all intimate and stuff, it's a loss. It's like sudden. It's something that you can't control. So it is like grieving. You're in denial of the fact that y'all not gonna be able to talk anymore. And you experience those feelings of loss. You experience the feeling of guilt. Like, what could I have done better? What could I change to make the relationship work? And then you experience depression. You're gonna be sad, of course. I would be sad, because if anybody has ever experienced heartache, that shit hurt. It hurt. It hurt really bad. It's something I wouldn't. Well, I might, but most people wouldn't put on their worst enemy. So it's just like, nobody wants to experience heartache, okay? Because it do, and then you go through the emotions of anger. Like, you're gonna be mad. Well, why he do me like that? Why she do me like that? It didn't have to go down like that. Why he didn't try harder? Why she didn't try harder? It's just like a whole cassandra of like a roller coaster of emotions, and you switch like that. It's just like I always use this comparison, because that's exactly how I think of it when I think of like emotions scattered everywhere. Like on that SpongeBob episode, when I think he was trying to remember his name, when Squidward had that restaurant in the Krusty Krab, and he was trying to impress Squidward, a little unibrow. I forget his name. But when he was trying to impress him, and SpongeBob had to forget everything he know about Krabby Patty, and he was like, what is your name? And SpongeBob was like, and then they showed a little snippet of like him throwing files everywhere. I'm gonna put the little snippet up there. But yeah, like that's how I think about like when you in heartbreak, your emotions is like this, like a roller coaster. You go from depression, anger, mad, guilt, sad. It is what it is. Back to anger. Like, you go through that process, and it is a process. It is a treacherous process, something that you don't want to go through, but it's definitely needed, because if you don't, I think you learn yourself. You learn every relationship. I always say this to my friends, every relationship you've been through, you learn something, or you should. And I feel like if you don't learn something, you're gonna fall back into the same trap of attracting the same type of person. So me, and I think that's me personally, that's why I don't attract the same type of person. I think my relationships get healthier and healthier as time goes, because I take that time for myself to be alone, like really be alone. I'm not trying to talk to nobody. I'm not trying to be involved with nobody. I'm not trying to like mingle. Well, I mingle, but I don't know. For me, I don't need to do all that, because I feel like it just like it's like a temporary bandage to stop me from thinking about what's going on. I don't organically go through the emotions. You're not able to experience your emotions or that pain as you need to. When you go through these emotions, it allows you to get to know yourself. You like get to figure out what you want in the next partner, rather than hopping to the next partner and immediately after you break up with somebody, or like not enough time for you to actually heal. Because have you thought about it? If you do that, and it could be months later, but if you really ain't sit down and think about everything that went on, I'm not saying think about the hurt and pain. I'm saying just let yourself organically go through it, because the pain and all that and remembering old memories is gonna happen, okay? That's gonna happen. But have you really thought, like, when people get out of a relationship, they wait a couple months, or they start talking to somebody else, or they don't even wait a couple months, whatever, the normal process. Have you ever like not been properly healed from something, and you find yourself triggered by small things? Like, for instance, like back to my story, like I said, I feel like I accidentally fell into it, and it's my recent relationship. I was a senior in college. Me and the previous person I was with them for a couple of years, and we had broke up. And my current boyfriend wanted to talk to me, and I said, it's not that I don't want to talk to him. It's just that I feel like I got some stuff I need to get through out of respect for myself and for that person. Because what if I had caught feelings to this person? I'm gonna be going through the motions. So, and this just goes to say, like, bro, you don't know you're properly healed unless you actually try to talk to somebody else. So I feel like that was my situation. I thought I was properly healed, but when you start talking to somebody else, it just shows that you just got a little bit more healing to do. So yeah, I was like, no, I don't want to, because I still got some stuff to do. And then one day she was just like, you ain't gotta talk to him, you just text him. And I was like, girl, anyways, I was like, okay, because I was like, whatever. So we began talking. I didn't know that I would like him like that, because actually we both didn't have no intentions of actually getting another relationship, especially me, not that soon. Or, well, I didn't get in a relationship soon, but nobody had intentions like, I'm gonna take this serious, basically. It was just something that, we both something that we talk to, you get to know each other. So yeah, I was like, dang, I'm actually, feeling him, he feeling me. So it was just like, we like each other. So I talked to him, kept talking to him for a couple months, and we eventually like really, really like each other. So I would go over there every weekend and we talk. And I was like, I like this. But in the beginning process, I was like, you talk to somebody every day, you get to know them every day, but when you alone, you still have to like detox those feelings. And I feel like I was there. And then when I really started to like be ready to like, right before we made it like official, I was just like, I felt guilty. That's what it was. I felt guilty because I was like, I feel like I moved on too fast for myself. Now, a normal person wouldn't have thought that, but me personally, I was like, I feel guilty for caring about this new person and not being able, I'm not as healed as I thought I was. And it's not like I wanted the last person or anything like that, because that definitely was not the case. It's just like, you still have to go through the motions. And you still gonna feel like you care about the person, and which is normal. And I think when we realize that, like, it's okay to still care about the last person, that doesn't mean you want to be with them at all. That's just normal. You was with that person for that amount of time, and it's like you learn that person, you learn everything, and they learned you. So it's like, that's normal. But like, yeah, so I didn't want to be with the person. It's just that you still have to detox all of that. And I feel like I just had a little bit more detoxing that I had to do, and I feel guilty. And I was like, I shouldn't feel guilty for caring for somebody who is such a great person. And I was just like, okay, well, I'm not gonna stop talking to him because we already here. But it was really mind boggling once again. Like, I just wouldn't recommend it because it was just having to deal with that. When I go back to my house and I was alone, having to deal with that by myself, it just wasn't worth it. And I was just like, okay, girl, we gotta like get past this. What do we need to do to get past this? I did what I needed to do in that moment, and I was like, you understand why the last situation didn't work. You got that part down. You understand that you do not want that person anymore. You understand why it didn't work out. We gotta let it go now. Like, we have to be able to move forward because you got this great guy in front of you, somebody who cares about you and gentle with you, etc. I'm not getting to all that mushy stuff, but you got a great person in front of you and checking out your boxes. So it's just like, you just gotta like breathe. It's okay. You don't feel guilty for nothing. It is what it is. Eventually, as time go on, you can really just let that go. I think I'm that person that's in that pro group where I'm able to mentally like dislocate. But your mind can move faster than your heart. So I think that's what was, my heart tends to catch up. So I'm not right there. My heart catches up quite fast. I think I'm more of a mental type person. So my healing process, like from the beginning, let me say that from the beginning, I feel like, of course, you're in disbelief, blah, 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 blah. You go through that anger stage. And then maybe a couple weeks later, I was like, I see why it didn't work out. And it would have never worked out. Let's just be real. But I wish him all the luck. Like, that's just how it was. And I was like, okay, I get it. So I was getting there. I was healed, probably like 90%. But when I got triggered with the guilt, and I feel like I didn't go through the guilt part of my healing process, and that's when it hit me later, when I felt like I was liking on somebody else, and I was like, I feel guilty. I was like, girl, feel guilty for what? You don't want the person no more. So it is what it is. You got this great guy, like I said. It's just like, okay. But that just goes to say it's a perfect example. Like, I would not recommend it because that's more, it's like I was healed, and I feel like I was healed, and I had to take like 3-4 steps back. Do you know what it feels like to feel like you're healed from a lot of things, and then you get faced by that trigger, and then like, oh, gotcha. Like, what? I thought we were past this. I thought that all of it, like not even the fact that not one of them, I thought we just passed all of it, all of the emotions that you even felt about that situation. So it's just like, bro, going 10 steps back it's a lot. You have to work back up. You gotta do what you got. And you're not like me to be like, sit there like, okay, girl, what we gotta do to like get past this? I'm not gonna let this overconsume me. If you're a person not like that, and you let your mental and your heart overtake you, you can like eliminate your whole healing process and have to start back from square one. Then you might mess up the relationship or whatever situation you in with the new person, or getting to know that person. And it's just like, I don't even want to go through all this. I want to deal with this. This is why I think it's important. We don't heal. Don't use that situation. And it may not be your intention to use that situation to help you forget or get over a situation. It won't help. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even go near nobody. Like I said, it's okay to date and not lay down with nobody. Yeah, you catch feelings for people. I just feel like when you get in a relationship, it makes you have to speed up your healing process. And if you don't do it organically, and you actually have to speed up your healing process, it's like you rushing yourself through the emotions. And I may not talk about my feelings a lot, but I'm one to really like to experience my emotions. I get to understand me on a deeper level, and that definitely helps you in your self-love process, because the whole thing about self-love is getting to know yourself and knowing yourself to where like you dotting your I's and crossing your T's, like you know yourself to the max, to the where that you, when you face with certain issues, you know how to deal with them healthy. So it's just like I don't want to be rushed through the motions because I want to be with somebody, I want to deal with somebody. And then who's to say that, like, it may be, like I said, cool now, and then we have our issues, and it's like, that's more baggage added on me that I have to heal from. And it's like, it's not even worth it. I just, it ain't even worth it. So what my take is, or what my answer is to this question I want you to consider is, give yourself time to organically go through whatever you have dealt with. Because I think if you're not an insecure person after that one relationship, I think eventually it's going to make you insecure. You're not insecure as far as like certain, there's different level of insecurity, but it can make you not secure with yourself. And once you get to that place where you're not secure with yourself, it's hard to get back from that, especially if you're not realizing, like, okay, I need to take a step back and heal, or you're not somebody who can be strong enough to like stop dealing with somebody and take a step back and be like, okay, I need to actually go in my dungeon and heal and work on myself. Because if you think you're okay the way you are, and you are as mature as you are right now, because like I was telling my boyfriend who was talking, and I was like, people, we can't get mad at people for like not listening to what we're saying when we know what we're talking about. I had to get like that too. It took a while, but it's like, they're not where I'm at mentally, or they're not mature. They're not there yet, okay? They haven't got to that thought process. They're like in the situation, or they're in that, that moment. That's as mature as they're going to get. So it's like, right now they don't get it. So you can't get mad at people for like, okay, I hear you, and then they go and do the same thing again. Yeah, that's you right now. But eventually, if you are this type of person, you may stay that same person. But if you really are serious about your journey, whether it's self-love or whatever journey you are on, you mature as you go. If you really about your stuff, you about your business, like, you're going to mature as you go. And then that same person you are today, you may not be, or the same thought process you have today won't be the same next year. So it's just like, you got to give people on their own roller coaster. Yeah, we got wisdom, and we know what we talking about, but it's like, I'm on the outside looking in. And somebody can say the same thing about me, like giving me advice, but it's like, they looking in. I'm in the situation. I don't see it right now. So you just got to give yourself that time to get to know yourself. I'm big on that. Get to know yourself. Get to know yourself. I mean, know yourself. Like, what do you like? What are your interests? What do you don't like? Okay, and I'm not just talking about small things. Think on a deeper level. Like, what do you don't like? What do you not like? What happened in that last relationship that you just can't stand no more? How are you going to proceed moving forward when you face with the same thing? How are you going to help your triggers when it comes to that certain situation? Is this a trigger for you? It's a lot of questions you need to ask yourself. Why you think the relationship didn't work out? What did you learn from there? What are you like, I think that's what I did personally. I was like, okay, I see why it didn't work out. So like, take a time and be like, why didn't it work out? Don't think selfishly. Think realistically. Like, why didn't it work out? Okay, and if it did work out 10 years later, because you may feel like right then and there, oh, this the person for me, and da da da. But once you get faced with certain things, you're like, were they really the person for me? Like, I see why they wasn't the person for me. Like, would I really would have been happy 5 years from now? And what I say today, would I really stand on it? Because I definitely would have been a different person, moving forward. And I feel like that's where I was. I was just like, that's why it didn't work out. I feel like, yeah, I know myself now, but I don't think realistically I would have been happy on my end if I made the decision that I had made. So it was just like, I'm not willing to sign my life over for love, okay? So it was just like, it is what it is. Like I said, you may be a great guy, maybe a great girl, but they just not a great guy or great girl for you. And that is totally okay. But I'm saying all of this to say, like, heal. Take that time to be alone. There's nothing wrong with being alone. If you cannot be alone, I would go sit down and talk to somebody professionally, and so we can unroot all the damage and traumatic things we've been through. If you can't do it on your own, if you don't know how to do it on your own, because it's important that we are healed and we are whole before we go and move forward and try to go aim for a healthy relationship. You might get your healthy relationship if you try it your way, but it may take a lot of trial and tribulations. And if you're like me, I'm not trying to do all of that work and all of that just to get where I want to be. If I can take my shortcuts and I can, well, not take my shortcuts, but if I can work on myself, complete that task fast, and really organically heal and then get to my next step, I'll do that. I'd rather do that than try to take shortcuts and try to figure it out, get past it without really getting past it and failing. So, and then having to do this all over again. So take some time and work on yourself. Figure out what you like. What do you don't like, what you looking for in the next relationship before you really just step out there. Go through all of that pain, and I know it's hard, it really is, and it's something you don't want to experience, but it's definitely important just to save yourself from future heartache or more heartache on top of that. And it's like, you don't ever want to be in a situation where like you happy for now and that person triggers you and then it reverts you back to your old relationship, and now I don't trust you, and then da 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 da. It's just a lot of pain on top of pain on top of pain, and it's just baggage that we just don't need. So work on yourself, please. Heal before you get in a relationship. I would definitely not recommend it. Even if you're a person that just not as broken, I think that it is important to heal and put in the work. Even if some God send you somebody to help you through the process, totally fine. But don't forget that you can't let them do all the work for you. Okay, you need to figure it out for yourself so that you won't become somebody who grows insecurities or get to a point where you just feel codependent and you need that validation from somebody else to determine how you should live your life and how you should love yourself and how you should move forward. So let's put the work in. Okay, let's put the work in to better ourselves, to heal ourselves so we can experience true healing. And that way, when we do come across that young woman or that young man that we truly like, we can have actual healthy relationships, make healthy decisions for ourselves, and practice our self-love journey authentically. Okay, so that's all I have for you today. The next episode will be outside of the series. It's going to be something random because the last episode of the relationship series is actually going to be a special guest. And yeah, I look forward to that. But I'll let y'all know when I get there. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, as well as follow my Instagram page at iam.enoughmsl. If you are listening in, I will leave a link in my description to get to my YouTube. If you're more of a visual person, you also can go to my Instagram page, click the link in my bio to see other ways to listen to the podcast. If you can't find, because I don't know, like I said last time, my YouTube handle has been acting up, but you can go to the link in my Instagram bio and go to YouTube, and it will direct you right to my channel. There are also other ways to listen to the podcast: Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Follow the podcast if you would like, please and thank you. So yeah, do all those things. Don't forget to share the podcast, like I always say. Share with your grandpappy, your grandma, your uncle, auntie, cousin, sister, brother, best friend, ex-best friend, ex-boyfriend. I don't care. Share with everybody because we all need a little boost in learning how to love ourselves on a deeper level. Okay, all right, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for tuning in. Bye.